So yeah, I want to talk about trusting, but in a different kind of way, because it's more like through the times that are hard, through the times when it feels like all the stuff's like coming up, chaos, relationship stuff, career stuff, money stuff, worldly events. We can say like, I trust, which I've done. But that's different. It's an intellectual idea of trusting, but there's a difference of like embodying it. And I've had quite a few coaching sessions today with clients, and there's been some themes, and so I just thought I'd pop on here. This isn't going to be super long. And it's for me and for you and for anyone who needs to hear this today. Just some musings. So the one particular person I was speaking with today who's incredible, there was like a truth that came out, and the truth was, I don't trust anyone. I haven't most of my life. That's what was shared. And for me, it brought up a lot, because I was in a family when I was a little girl where I wasn't taught how to trust myself. And so I can really relate, and I knew I could help this person. And the way that I was able to help them in this moment was by sharing the most direct, honest truth I could possibly share with them. Because I could see all of the little pieces. This is how my brain and body works when I work with somebody, is like I can see like this piece and this piece and this piece and this piece. I see how they're all connected, and it's more like, how do I deliver this in a way that lands for them? And at the same time, not only lands for them, but in a way where they can get it intellectually, but really feel it in their body. And so, there's been times, I'll be honest, where I'll like take a second, like, oh, can they hold this? This might piss them off. And so, for example, in this particular conversation with a client, I shared like 4 things that could have so pissed her off, because they were in direct conflict with her ego. And I've been there. I have great mentors, by the way, who share things that piss me off, and they like come up against my ego. But you know what? At the end of the day, like, I am so grateful I have people who are honest with me. So grateful. I don't want someone who just strokes my ego and tells me what I want to hear, or tells me a half thing because they don't think I can handle the rest. And so why I'm getting to this is that in the process of me sharing these very clear things with this particular client who wasn't trusting, she might not know it, but at the end of the day, that is how she's going to learn to start to trust, is by surrounding yourself with people who will tell you the truth, even if it pisses you off, even if it makes you uncomfortable. And what that means is that we can reflect back on ourselves. And if you're getting this and like this resonates, like, write in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But it's really about like, can we trust ourselves to be honest with ourselves? And there's so many different opinions that come at us. Like, one of my biggest teachings for my own personal life in the last like couple months was separating out that a lot of people have opinions. It doesn't make them right or wrong. It doesn't mean the opinions are bad or good. But at the end of the day, if I'm all wrapped up in other people's opinions, then I have a really hard time coming back to embodying trust with myself, because I'm so worried what's going on out there. And this has been a theme for so many of my clients as well. We're looking at where we're harsh critics of ourselves, where we judge ourselves, where we're harsh critics of others, and where we judge them. And when we're in this kind of judging, critical place, which, we're human beings, so let's just establish that we will always judge in some capacity. It's part of being human. But more often than not, can we get a little bit more curious about, oh, why did I do that? Or why did that person maybe do that? I don't know why they did, but maybe I'm going to just try to be curious about it versus judge them so harshly. Maybe I'm going to look at my criticism for other people or organizations or institutions or systems or whatever it is right now, this harsh criticism, and I'm going to like take a minute and take a step back, and I'm just going to look at like, where am I really criticizing myself? Where am I my harshest critic? Because at the end of the day, no one can really criticize you unless you allow them to. I mean, they can, but it doesn't affect you if you're not already in a harsh, critical place with yourself. If someone tries to judge you, well, they can try, but that judgment only sticks if you're in harsh judgment of yourself. And so ultimately, these people that are around us in our lives, these systems, this political, like all the things that are happening, I know it's not easy work, believe me. I'm not over here suggesting this kind of work is necessarily the easiest, but a good pencil and paper and writing some stuff out, do not underestimate it. But it can reflect back to us and give us some space to say, okay, am I really trusting in my body that this is going to work out, that things are working out? I don't even know how they're going to work out. And maybe for you, there might be some kind of specific like thing you're waiting on or thing you want to do, or maybe there's a conflict that hasn't been resolved, or whatever the thing is. Feeling that trust in your body is very powerful. And the only way that you can get there is by utilizing this, we'll call it Earth School. Welcome to Earth School. I'm one of your many, many teachers. The only way that you can learn in Earth School how to really embody trust is by seeing the mirror reflections of all these institutions and people and organizations around you, and looking at your triggers, looking at your shit. What's coming up? If somebody's like super weak in your opinion, and they're not showing up for themselves, you might be judging the heck out of them. And then can you have the courage to turn it around on yourself and say, where am I not showing up? Where am I not being my word? Where am I consistently ignoring or invalidating myself, etc.? So let me think if there's anything else. If you have any comments, so good to see many of you here. Yay. I haven't been live in a while. I'm gonna always like give myself permission to come live when I feel like it. I don't do well with like a schedule of exactly when. I just trust, literally, as we're talking about trust, that when it's time, it's time. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really easy right now, easier to get sucked into fear. Other people's fear, other people's stories, the narrative of the world. And, it's all around us. It's all around us. So we kind of have to be like courageously working toward doing everything we can to come back to ourselves and our bodies right now. Like right before I did my coaching calls, I had like 10 minutes. I have a couple more after this. And I like went and walked in my bare feet on the grass because I just needed to like feel the earth. I felt so up here for no reason, but just life. So it doesn't have to be like this long practice of embodying trust. It really can just be like, oh, I feel kind of flighty, not as grounded. I have 10 minutes. I'm just going to go walk around and put my feet on the ground. And what we do is when we show up with our core needs, then we teach ourselves that we are our word with ourselves. We basically are like, oh, I'm listening to you, soul, body. And when we do that enough times, it builds our self-esteem. And we begin to understand a little bit more day by day about how we can really trust in this world when all signs point to it not being trustable. That's the thing. All right, I'm going to go. So good to be here with you. I hope this was of value. If you have interest in doing more of this kind of work with me, I have a cool course called the Self-Healing Course, and the link is in my bio. All the information's in there. It's a self-study, but I can also bundle it together with private coaching, which I have a couple availabilities right now for my longer term coaching. And I think that's it for now. All right, talk to you all soon. Bye.